30.
20.
10. 5, 4, 3, 2. 1. Ignition sequence start. This is just the beginning. Are you ready?
Here comes the best part.
1, 2, 3,
Go.
Life Matters, a 5-time winner of the Best Morning Show in Wisconsin. Hosted by Nancy Douglas and Tom Giovanoni.
All of you, get ready.
And now,
Life Matters begins on Lake 96.1.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a talk show. I should
It
talk.
is a talk show. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a beautiful day.
It's going to be a beautiful day. It's been, I love fall. I don't know about you. It's my favorite season.
I don't know if it's my favorite season, but I do like fall.
What's your
All I know
favorite
is
season?
spring is my most least favorite season.
Yeah, because it's like brown.
It's muddy. You can't
Yeah.
get off. It can't do anything.
Right.
Without
What is
getting
your favorite
filthy.
season? Summer? Because writing.
You know what? I don't know. Fall is definitely up there.
I mean, there's only 4.
Probably fall.
Okay.
Because, you can do anything in
Mm-hmm.
fall. You can still ride. You can ski. You can snow ski. You can water ski. You can hunt. You can be outside in a T-shirt. It all depends on the weather, but it's dry. It's relatively
It's
dry.
pretty.
It's nice. It's football weather. It's
It's pretty.
and then it snows.
Yeah, I know. You like the
love
snow.
the
I don't
snow.
like the snow. But I want to thank you. So you guys, your garden has just exploded. You guys have the best garden I've ever seen on the planet.
Oh, wow.
And
Thanks.
you brought me a pumpkin for my
little one.
outside decor. It's not a little one, by the way. and I was like, are you sure that the grandkids, like, this is a perfect pumpkin? Are you sure? And then you said, oh, no, there's more where that came
Yeah,
from.
we got
So-
more pumpkins than grandkids, and that's not a challenge, guys.
Yes, it is. Amy wants another girl.
Oh, 7's enough.
Oh, 7 grandkids is enough?
Not for me, yeah.
Come on. Nah.
It's like trying to herd cats.
Yeah, so?
I'm not a cowboy. Or a cat herder.
By the way, how's it going with the girls? With you and the girl grandchildren?
Well, fine. We don't
I
see
just feel
Amara that often.
Right. And I feel like Bren is just going to be like, she's with the boys.
Bryn doesn't have a lot of use for me.
No, she doesn't?
No. Especially if like Lincoln and Caden are there because they're all over.
Yeah.
They go do whatever they do.
Yeah. Well,
But I mean, she's fun.
right.
She's a blast. It'll be better when they get a little older.
Right.
We don't see them a lot, so you haven't
everybody's so
built that
busy.
rapport with them yet.
Well, and
Where Jackson, we had all the time, and a lot of times I judge it by him, which I really
Which you can't.
No,
Right.
It's
You see
not
your
right.
grandkids normal amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
But yeah,
we
Jackson
just got
was,
spoiled for a while.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. And oh my gosh, that kid, I'm going to need for Zach and Heather to stop fertilizing the child.
He's growing like a weed. He's going to be big.
He's going to be a tall young man.
Yep. Well,
And watch out for those girls. Ooh.
yeah, my mom's brothers were all big.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the shortest one was like 6'1" or 6'2".
Yeah.
And Amy's dad's family, they were all tall. Her mom's family, most of the guys were average or a little bit taller.
So he's going to be a
The
tall one.
Giovanoni side were kind of Italianish.
Yeah.
But my brother and I got the Grimm genes as far as height because we're both 6 foot or more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, they're all adorable. And, Jackson playing football and Brendan
Like a
the
beast.
cheerleading little outfit and stuff. It's just, just so cute. But fall brings all those cool pictures and the hay rides and corn mazes and all that kind of stuff.
and you're not sweating and you're not freezing.
Right. And
That's nice.
and then, I mean, my birthday was last week, so I do have a little bit of, I
Yes.
do have a bit of bias towards fall. So
Yeah,
but
and
anyway,
happy birthday again.
Thank you. Yes, 9/11. It was a stranger birthday than normal.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Didn't
and
start
so
out well.
yeah, this was a pretty heavy week. So we're going to talk a little bit about that after our interview. But first, and that discussion is going to talk about some really epic failures of this country in more ways than one to mitigate some of the issues that we have here. The number one we've talked about before, the number one reason why all these people are suffering, and we're gonna talk about that after. But first, we're gonna talk about an unbelievable success story here in Walworth County that is the perfect example of what happens when you see a need and you have a vision and you make that vision a reality, and then you, for nearly 30 years, create success stories and successful outcomes with regard to young men and women in our community. And that is the story of Agape House.
Right.
And so Pam and Linda are going to be here. They're actually out there. We're going to take a quick commercial break, bring them in, and we're going to talk about, there's a fundraiser coming up for Agape House. And I don't know if everybody realizes that Agape House has been doing this for 28 years.
It's a long time.
So that's a long time. So think of how many lives have been impacted and people have been given the opportunity to go down the paths of success instead of potentially not success because of their, home situation or whatever reason. We're going to talk about that success story first. Then after that, yes, we're going to talk about how we could have a lot of success stories and this country has just epically failed in so many ways, and maybe what we need to start thinking about in order to turn this atmosphere around. So, but first, Pam and Linda are going to come in. We're going to talk about the latest Agape House fundraiser. That's coming up right after this on Lake 96.1.
Life Matters continues on Lake 96.1.
Welcome. We're trying to be serious. Welcome back to Life Matters. Tom can't be serious.
Totally serious.
It's a good thing. Linda Moritz joins us this morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good. I know. I talked in the first segment very briefly about how later in the show we're going to talk about things that this country does not do right. There are several things. I'm sure you can imagine what we're going to talk about. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about something that this community has done right for over 28 years. And that is Agape House. Now, Agape House has come to the rescue of, I don't even know how many countless young men and young women over the 28 years that they have been open. They've expanded, they've moved, they've changed. I mean, just so many things, but it's all because the community is so supportive. So Linda had this great idea to do this Fall Fervor fundraiser. It's a horticultural hall on September 17th. It's in support of Agape House. Linda, this is your baby, so you're going to tell us about this fundraiser. So you tell us all of the things that have come out of your heart and the reason why you want this to be so successful and what can we do to help?
Well, the reason I want it to be successful is because I want to help raise funds for Agape House. They have more kids in their program this year than they've ever had before.
Really?
Yes. They are so successful. Agape House has my heart for over 10 or 12 years. Mm-hmm. But this fundraiser, it was the idea of mine and a couple other people to do this fun event. We have live music, we have complimentary cocktails, we have complimentary wine, we have chef-prepared food, and we have 5 venues of entertainment. It is going to be a fun party. While we do good, we're going to have fun while we do good. It's 2 hours. There'll be interactive things to do. It's not like any other fundraiser you've been to.
It doesn't seem like it's like anything we've ever covered before either.
It is not like any fundraiser I've ever been to. It's a big party, interactive party. And it's only $75.
That is
and
not.
And it includes your food, your drinks, live music, and the entertainment venues.
That's kind of a cheap night.
It is really. I am a cheap
amazing.
date, so that's so. But wait a minute. Let's go back for a second because, all right. So unique entertainment. Let's go to the chef prepared food for a second because I have a feeling that there might be a chef there that you
Somebody we know, yeah.
are vaguely familiar with.
Vaguely.
Tom, is this, yeah. Yeah,
somebody well known in the area.
Yeah. I don't know. Let me think.
Wonderful chef.
I'm not giving it away.
Chef Rosas. Is that
Mm-hmm.
who
Yes,
it could be?
that's who it is.
One of our Mr. Lake Geneva contestants.
Yes.
In fact, there probably are going to be several representatives from Mr. Lake Geneva there.
Oh, really?
At least the last one, yeah.
Oh, have you
Yes.
guys been group texting again?
It hasn't stopped.
Oh, God.
It really hasn't stopped.
Which really makes me actually nervous about that. So we'll get to
Why?
that later.
Nothing but fun.
You guys are trouble. So, but you're good trouble. You're good trouble. I'll
Usually.
give you that. So Abel Rosas is going to be there. Who
Abel
else?
Rosas is doing the food.
Okay.
It'll be delicious.
Amber and Scott is doing the music.
Ooh,
If you know
yes,
Amber.
yes.
She's a classically trained musician, but she sings rock and roll
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
current songs. Yeah, they're really good. I'm not going to give away what the 5 entertainment venues are.
No,
'cause
don't.
that's going to be a surprise.
Right.
But one of you talked about the community coming together for Agape House. Almost everything is donated.
Mm-hmm.
The bourbon, the wine, the people who are doing the entertainment have all donated their time.
Walworth
the
County
linens, Charlie Lorenzi donated
yeah,
the linens. Yaya's almond dips.
Oh, yeah?
He's a supporter in Box and Burlap. They're both sponsors.
Aw.
Yeah.
See, I mean, it's amazing. Walworth County is a very, very generous county. They come together and support things that basically
Consistently.
on a constant level,
Yeah.
right? Like, because
That is true.
we do a lot of stuff, right? There's Agape House. There's Steinbreaks are involved in Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and there's just the Tree House, right? Just all of the things that we have in this community that are worth their weight in gold
Oh, yeah.
as far as supporting adults, kids, animals, everything. And it's only because the community is so generous that we can do this. Pam Patterson, she is the queen of Agape House. Pam is also sitting here. Linda mentioned that you have more kids than ever here this year. Tell us just a little bit about that.
Well, as you're aware of, we opened our boys' home about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And this year we have 18 teens in our program, and we just reopened it the school year and Labor Day weekend, and we already have a waiting list.
Oh my gosh.
We are really looking at expanding and doubling so that we can double the amount of kids that we can serve.
Yeah. Agape House is one of a kind. Like, there isn't anything like this.
We're the only private placement girls' home in the whole state.
Right.
And there's one other boys' home way up north.
So if you double in size, you got 18 in there now. Do you have another 18 waiting or more? Or?
Well, again, we've only been open 2 weeks this school year, and we already have 5 on the waiting list just within 2 weeks.
Wow.
Jeez. Now, how do you get people on the waiting? Like, how do you decide who qualifies to come to Agape House?
Mainly, it's whoever wants to come. We're first come, first serve.
Okay.
If you're willing and want to help, we're willing to take you.
Awesome. And you would not have been able to do this for 28 years, help 28 years worth of children and young adults, if it wasn't for the community support.
Oh, absolutely. So one of the unique things about Agape is that the price is cheaper than just about any other place in the country, but also we're a sliding fee. So we will take a child if their parent can't afford anything.
Right.
No
Because-
child will ever be turned away because of finances at Agape.
I mean, because quite frankly, the life of the child is far more important than the money.
Right.
And God makes it happen. Like, I know you. This is just how it works. If you are supposed to be there, it's because that is God's way.
Yes, he has taken care of every need we've had for 28 years, and he will continue. But it's also by using the community, right?
Right.
The community is his hands and feet making a difference in
Right.
each one of these children's lives.
Yeah, and you're setting them up for success later in life.
Right.
'Cause
Yes.
You got to fix it now.
And again, we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show too, because that's one of the things that is so important to you is getting there early. And some of these kids that you've had over the years and maybe even now, the good opportunities were not there.
Rather than going down that negative road, you're changing that path.
But
to a
sometimes
positive
they
road.
aren't in control of whether or not they can go down that. You remove them from the situation that wasn't allowing them options.
Yeah.
So all the kids that come to us have dealt with trauma, and so they're just very hurt and broken inside. And many of them do come from really good families, but things happen outside the family, within the family, out of their control. And so we're there to help get to that root of that trauma and bring
Right.
healing to the child so that they can live healthy, happy, productive lives.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you guys have done. It's amazing what you guys still do. It is one of the most unique programs I've ever heard of, but it's also, again, like this crowning success of this area. Because, right, again, we didn't have Agape House. Where would they have gone? Right? What choices would they have had? What paths would they have taken had Pam and her team not been there and her vision to do it in the first place not been there? And then you have people like Linda who come up with these great fundraisers, these really unique things. Because I'm going to tell you, quite frankly, we've all done the golf outings. We've all done all of these other things. They're great. They raise tons of money, and that's awesome. But your most successful fundraisers are the ones that are the step outside the box kind, the niche kind.
Oh, yeah.
And this is one of them.
This is definitely that. And this is a first-time fundraiser, so it's been difficult getting people to buy into
you have to
buying
the
their
momentum,
tickets.
get the momentum, right.
Yes. So if you're listening to this and you want a fun evening and you want to do good for your heart, buy a ticket to the Fall Fervor fundraiser.
So it's September 17th. It's from 6 to 8. It's right down here, Horticultural Hall.
Beautiful venue.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous. And it's also really super gorgeous in the fall. And I know people are saying, oh, well, it's not quite fall
You
yet.
can
Yes,
also
it
pay at the
is.
door.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's perfect. So chef prepared food by, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Is there another chef in town besides?
Abel's pretty good.
Abel's pretty good.
You're gonna
Live
like it.
music, bourbon and wine. Is it a bourbon and
Yes.
wine tasting?
No. Well, we do have tastings
Okay.
too.
Okay. And then, a silent auction, which is always good.
Yes, a small silent auction.
But let me tell you about a silent auction at this time of the year. It's good Christmas shopping. And
It
I
is.
know
Oh,
people,
definitely.
We have a few great gifts too.
and I just mentioned Christmas, and I'm sorry, don't drive off a cliff. Christmas
We're
is
not
right
playing the
around the
music yet.
corner. We haven't started the music yet.
Birthdays
So
are
whatever.
around too.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, there's always a reason to bid on things at a silent auction. You can always find a reason. Actually, you know me, I'm a competitive silent
Yes, we
auctioner.
know.
Right. Yeah. I see
And
it
you
as a
win often.
sport, and I win, and I don't bump people out of the way anymore because they told me I had to
don't
stop
know if
doing
that's
that. I don't know why, but just Amy. But no,
Those
she.
bats.
She's right. Oh, bats, right. I just moved her for bats. But there's just no reason why you wouldn't want to. I mean, it's a different event to go
Oh,
to.
yeah.
It's an inexpensive event.
It's going to
and
be so much fun.
you know what? I feel that because you are so excited about
I
it,
am
right?
really excited about it. People are going to be surprised.
Yeah. There's surprise. Oh, that's right. She said there's things we can't.
Right, that we're not talking about.
That we're not talking
So,
about.
gonna
So
bump ya.
$75 per person. So how do we get tickets? We can go to your Facebook page, right?
You can go to my Facebook page, Linda Moritz,
Okay. Or Abel Rosa,
Abel Rosas.
Joe DeCiccio.
Yes. And
All of
you
those guys are
click
involved.
A Thrivent link.
Ah, okay. That's right.
Yes, you click a Thrivent link and it'll ask you for a donation. Your $75 for your ticket price is your donation to
Perfect.
Agape House, and it goes in to the Agape House account.
Okay. Okay.
Or we
Well,
can
that's
pay
perfect.
at
And you will,
door.
or you can pay at the door.
Okay.
But when you do it on the Thrivent thing, you'll get your tax donation receipt right
Oh,
away
okay.
too.
Can I just
Or you
ask
can pay at the door.
I mean,
I don't
so
care about
okay,
the
so
tax, though.
I know. So
Just
here,
pay the
because
bill.
here's my thing. Like, I can see where if I'm donating like thousands and thousands of dollars
Right.
or something, but I honestly, I don't really write that stuff up. Do you write that stuff
I
up?
have
I don't
never,
write that stuff up.
never
I
thought
just
of
don't
tax
because
deductions donating.
I also feel like I'm supposed to be doing something like that.
Right.
So I don't expect anything in return.
That's why we're there, and that's
You're
how we
there
do
to
it.
raise the money. And
Right.
again, this is such a unique event that I have a feeling you do have a lot of things up your sleeve that you are going to figure out. Those things raise money too. It just sounds like, and again, from your excitement, this is going to be an event, first time, but maybe a lot of times, maybe an annual thing. Is that your plan for this to be an annual thing? Is that what you're hoping?
This is my second fundraiser I've done for Agape House.
Yeah.
The first one was at Simple, and vacations were bid on.
Oh.
They bid on vacations.
Okay.
I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah, see? Oh, you're lucky.
Well, keep it fresh.
And that's what
It's
it
my
takes.
personality.
And that's what it takes.
Yeah.
It takes something different every time because, like I said, we raise a lot of money. Right.
Well, and we need to fill it. We need to get.
We need to fill it.
Horticultural
We're
filled,
hoping for
so.
100 more people.
Okay. 100
Good
more
start.
people. Yeah.
Please, community.
Yeah.
And while I'm on here, I just want to thank my friends for donating their time, their talents, and for donating the alcohol and all the things they donated. Thank you very much.
Well, like I said, it takes a community. And this
And
community
very
is
generous
extremely
friends.
generous. Yes. Fall Fervor Fundraiser.
Yes, ma'am.
Agape House is the beneficiary of all of the proceeds for this. Linda says it's going to be unforgettable. If Linda says it's going to be unforgettable, it's going to be unforgettable. You're going to have a blast. We're going to raise money. By the way, like you said, Agape House has more kids than ever. We're going to buy computers, teacher materials, housing. That's what this money goes towards. Anything else that stands out to you that you're looking forward to helping fund with the funds that we raise from this fundraiser?
Well, as I was saying, no child's ever turned away. So a lot of the funds that come in go into our scholarship fund so that we can say yes. So again, we never have to turn a child away because of finances.
Right. You're just incredible. You know, I just love you to death. Anyway. By the way, her husband's birthday is on the same day as mine. It was last week, 9/11.
Well, happy
We're
birthday to your
9/11
husband.
babies. Agape House fundraiser. It is on September 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. It's at a Horticultural Hall. Beautiful place. Linda is so excited about all of this. Tickets are available. We need to get these tickets sold. Yes, this is a night you don't want to miss. And again, it's all for the Agape House. And again, a treasure in our community. We want to make sure that we support it. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Oh gosh, no problem. No
Thank you.
problem. We are very excited about this. Find Linda Moritz, Abel Rosas, Joe DeCiccio. Honestly, if you go to Facebook and you Google, or not, you don't go to Facebook and Google anything.
not
I
gonna
know
work.
I'm 700 years old. Sorry.
Can't believe you said it.
I know. If you go to Facebook and you just search Agape House Fundraiser, actually it does come up. You do come up, Linda. So you've been, whatever you're doing to push it, you're doing it right. So go find it. Click on it. Maybe it's Thrivent. You could also look for. I bet Joe has something over there
I'm
on
sure he
Thrivent.
does.
So you'll find it. Not a problem. Get your tickets. Go to Horticultural Hall and have the time of your life. Linda guarantees it's an unforgettable evening.
Yes.
Not a minor
Thank you.
investment.
So again, thank you guys for joining us this morning. We will talk more about
We will.
a lot of different things, especially getting together and making sure that our community is mentally and emotionally healthy.
Got a lot of
Sooner
work to do.
rather than later. We definitely have some work to do. So you're listening to Life Matters. We'll be right back after this on Lake 96.1.
Life Matters continues on Lake 96.1.
Welcome back to Life Matters. I have known Pam Patterson for a very, very long time. And
Very nice lady.
Yes. And I don't think she truly realizes the beautiful place that she has created for people and the unbelievably successful, again, outcomes for lives. I don't really think she understands just the beautiful impact she's had on our community.
You know, when she's that busy with it, a lot of times that
Yeah.
it slips by you.
Well, it's her life.
Right.
So it doesn't
But
occur
you're
to her that
constantly-
it's something extraordinary, but it is. It
Because
is.
you're constantly working to make it better, and
Right.
you're not seeing what's behind you, what your work is giving you. You just see what you got to do ahead of you.
Right. Yeah.
So-
I wish that there were more success stories like this, because obviously last week with the death of Charlie Kirk, we're just going to put it out there that we're going to talk pretty raw today about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It's exactly
Yeah, don't downplay
what
it.
it
He was murdered.
Right. In front of his family, by the way. Mm-hmm. In front of his friends, in front of thousands of college students who were there to, whether they agreed with him or thought that they disagreed with him or definitely disagreed with him, they were at least there because they were willing to have an open mind, which is exactly what he was trying to do. Regardless of what you think about his religious views or his political views or his knowledge or education and your opinion of all that, you cannot deny that he was there to try and keep people talking to each other.
Yep, he was trying to get the country healthy again. He said it several times. When you stop talking, you start fighting.
Right.
And I couldn't agree with him more.
Right. And there's been a lot of things that have happened in the days following, including people celebrating his death, which is Actually, if you are doing that, I want you to take a good look in the mirror because you don't need a Halloween costume. You're a monster already.
Oh, there's a special place in hell for you.
Right. You don't celebrate anybody's death. There have been a lot of people who have said, how can you give more attention to his death than you do, say, the school shooting that happened at relatively the same time that day?
Yeah.
The church shooting and everything. And I'm just going to put this out there because I would like to start this conversation here. The 9/11 victims. The beautiful young Ukrainian woman on the train that was stabbed in the neck and murdered on the train last week.
And everyone sat there and watched and did nothing to help her.
Oh my God, don't even get me started on that. Every single child that's been a victim of or has been in the school where there has been a school shooting, every single child, every single adult, every single teacher, Charlie Kirk, the Boston Marathon bombing victims, again, the 9/11 victims, all of these people died from the exact same thing. A complete lack of mental health care in this country.
And pure hatred.
And hatred. Yeah, but when you have that pure hatred, you are suffering in some way.
Oh, I don't disagree with
right?
that.
And so you don't have the care to end that suffering and give you a different outlook and stop hating doesn't exist in this country. It's not about gun control. It's about crazy control.
I totally agree with you. And the only exception to this, I think, is 9/11 because that was politically and religiously motivated by the Taliban.
But they're crazy too.
They are.
It's all
and it's
mental
just pure
health.
hatred. Whenever you take somebody's life,
yes,
when it's a cold-blooded killing, how can it not be a mental health issue?
Right.
I've been training my entire adult life to do that, both through the military and through civilian law enforcement. I have trained, I'm going to guess, several thousand officers to pull that trigger, to make that decision and pull that trigger. And I don't know the percentage, but a fraction of the guys I've trained had actually had to do that. People have asked me, could you do it? I've trained to do it.
Right.
I mean, I'm mentally prepared to pull that trigger if I have to, but I've never been put in that spot where I had to.
Thankfully, right.
Yeah. So to answer that question, I don't know. I better be able to.
Right.
If I need be. But
anybody who owns a firearm better be, for self-defense, better be ready to do that.
But to go and plan to kill somebody when they're no threat to you, this is just, it's pure hatred. And then to celebrate that death is just compounded pure hatred. Yeah. And I agree, it's a mental health issue, but it's a mental health issue with the people that are enjoying it and supporting that shooting. I don't want to say encouraging it, but are participating in it. You're certainly encouraging it if you're saying way to go. Right. But I mean, including like the Waukesha Christmas Parade. Yeah. That guy should have never been out. That guy should have been locked up in jail or a hospital. After he ran his wife over, kind of had a thing going there. Right. But you compound the complete lack of mental health care in this country with the fact that you also have an extraordinary number of people who are unwilling to say something when they see something. Mm-hmm. You have an educational system who has instead of teaching kids how to survive in life with the skills that they need to hold a job
and which creates self-confidence and teamwork and all of those things that are just basic necessity skills. You have these poor teachers distracted by requirements for, DEI and all these other things that, you can't tell me that if these teachers... The teachers have been indoctrinated themselves as well. They are not teaching what they want. Most teachers, you can't tell me these teachers are wanting to delve into this personal stuff.
I think there's several of them that do not. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I don't think it's to the positive extreme, because there was just a video that I saw, and it was a line of kids walking down a school hallway with American flags. And I thought it was really cool. Mm-hmm. And I watched it a second time. Well, on each side of the hallway is a bunch of other kids sitting down looking around. And now I'm thinking, if we're teaching patriotism, why aren't we teaching patriotism to all these kids? Because they should all be standing for that flag.
Right.
But they're not.
Right.
So why are the teachers allowing that to happen? And that's the problem I have. Are they forced into teaching things they don't want to? Yeah, I think they are. But
are they also told? But are they also told you can't make them do this?
Absolutely. Okay, and that's why we're losing good teachers, because
that's what
they know it's wrong.
Right.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So you have this completely dysfunctional mental health system. You combine it with people who are unwilling or courageous enough to say something when they see something, because they either feel bad if it's not true, or they don't want to get involved, or whatever. And then you have a legal system that favors criminals over victims.
Absolutely.
All right? This is all the exact same root cause, in that we are not addressing the mental and emotional instability in people, whether they move on, whether they commit a crime, whether they hurt themselves, or whether they are so extreme that they impose their beliefs on you, and if you don't adhere to that, they get extreme and violent and nasty and all of these things. That is not okay.
No,
so
it's
here's
not.
what Mike Mason said to me last week. He said, it's interesting because an extremist, they want to talk about coexist. You have to let me live the way I want to live. True. And that's fine. And generally what you find, and I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but that's okay. But
I don't disagree with you.
I know you don't. But conservatives appear to be able to coexist with everyone. We can coexist. If you want to live your life, live your life. Again, I don't care who you're sleeping with as long as it's not my husband. I don't care what you want to wear. I don't care the makeup you want to wear. I don't care about any of that, as long as you are not forcing yourself and that belief and berating me if I don't live that way myself.
Exactly.
Right?
And that's the problem.
But if if I don't want to use pronouns, you're not letting me live my life the way I want to.
Correct.
So we can coexist with you, but you don't want to coexist with us.
Well, we can coexist with them as long as we do it their way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's them coexisting with us. You can do whatever you want to do.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Right. We are perfectly fine letting you do whatever you want to do.
But they're not fine allowing us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's not coexisting.
No, it's not.
You're not. You forcing me to call you them, or you forcing me to, you protesting because I don't hire you because you are not an accurate or responsible or productive, or I don't even want to say productive, but
you're not a good employee.
Right. That's not. You can't yell at me for that.
No, color and sex should have nothing to do with that. If you're a good employee, you should get the job and retain the job.
Right.
If you're not a good choice, you're not a good choice.
Right. And that goes back to the DEI stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Like, it's like one of the videos that you see that Charlie Kirk, he's talking to this young man, and this man is, he's saying, but you're saying that DEI should go away. Well, yeah. Well, that's DEI provided opportunity. And Charlie's like, No, it didn't. You still have the opportunity to do whatever you want with or without DEI. Oh, no, it provided opportunity. No, it made it so that employers or schools or whatever are forced to put people in places where they do not belong.
Yeah.
Okay. So he gave the example of the NBA. All right.
Yep.
The NBA is like what, 8% white people or something,
it's
or
pretty
8%,
low,
whatever it is. And so he asked the guy. He's like, what would happen to the quality of play if the NBA were forced to find 30% of its players and they had to be white people, because black people are just better at it. They just are. It's a good thing. It's fine. It's fine.
Right.
So what do you think would happen to the quality? Or what if the NFL was required to have 15% of the people on their teams that weigh 150 pounds or less?
Right.
Okay.
You want the best person for the job.
Exactly. And the same thing,
it's like us switching seats. God, we'd be in trouble.
Right. Well, no, we wouldn't. After now,
I can't run that board.
Well, it's 2 buttons. It's okay. But it's it's like, and then they went on to talk about air traffic controllers. Okay. There are people that are in those air traffic control towers that should not be there. And they even know they shouldn't be there, that they're just not, they don't have the tolerance for the stress. They maybe didn't have enough of the training, but because they were required to, because they were required to hire a certain number of women or African Americans or whatever, they were like, I'm forced, like I have to hire you because, you know what? Those people might have thought that was a really great job and a really great thing for about 10 minutes. And then when they get in a situation where there's 5 airplanes in the air all wanting to land at once and they're 50 feet apart and this and that, and they can't handle the stress, what do you think that does to that person as well? Like, we are not addressing the variations of suffering that these people, that this country is imposing on people because of some of the stupid stuff that the extremists are forcing people just to stand back and go, whoa, okay, I will agree with you just for you to get out of my face, right? Like, we used to be able to talk and say, okay, how many times have we said this on this show? All of us in the middle here are like, you know what? We really all kind of have the same goals. Yes, we want America to be great all the time. Mm-hmm. Yes, we want our students to be successful. Yes, we want our families to be safe. Yes, we want this, we want that. We may disagree on how to get there, but the whole point would be to figure out, oh, that's a really good idea that this Democrat had. Oh, that's a really good idea this Republican had, or conservative or liberal, whatever you want to say. And we all get together and we find that plan and we move forward.
Right.
We are not doing that.
No, because we're too extreme.
Right. And Charlie Kirk was the one voice that young people were listening to. Mm-hmm. He wasn't teaching them what to think. He was teaching them to open their eyes and think for themselves.
Right. Yep.
I will tell you another video that he was talking with a girl about abortion. She was trying to say, it's a fetus. It's not a person. And he's like, okay, but if somebody shoots the mom and the baby dies, they get charged with 2 counts of murder. Why is that? Well, because it's a human. Well, you just said it wasn't.
Right.
So then she tries to go on. Right. So then she tried to go on and she's like, well, people are dying because they are, it's a life and death situation and they need an abortion and they can't get it. And he's like, no, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're not. And
Those are
if
lies.
the baby is viable, you do a C-section.
Right.
There are twice as many people who are willing to adopt children than there are children to adopt. And if you really, really want to fix that situation, what you do, instead of spending all this money on Planned Parenthood, you take that money and you start giving it and you improve the foster and adoption system.
Yeah, improving the foster system would be great because there's a lot of kids out there suffering in that foster system. But make the adoption process a little bit easier.
Right. And a mother who is suffering, that's not the same thing. You might call it the same thing, but if it's a choice between life or death, That's not an abortion. That's a different medical procedure. That is a life-saving procedure. Mm-hmm. But abortion is birth control. This is not that should not be a thing. Mm-mm. So,
no, I agree.
He was just trying to make, and so he would just ask the question, and he wasn't disrespectful. He was snarky sometimes because what? But when people come at you in that manner all the time like that, you're going to, and he knows damn well what they're about to say, right? Because they say the same things over and over again. Sometimes it's hard not to be snarky, but ultimately, he was respectful.
Until you didn't earn it anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I respect that.
Exactly. And so it's just, we have lost a voice that was trying very, very hard to make sure that our young people in colleges were entering the world with an open mind.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But one thing that I have been thinking about since this happened was when you mention about the forced hiring, you have to hire X amount of minorities, whatever.
Right.
There's a ripple effect to that. There's a ripple effect to that person himself, because when I was working for Wanasek, we were burying cable in Janesville, and there was an African-American gentleman who was promoted to a supervisor position in Power and Light. And everybody called him Token, including himself. And I asked him one day, I said, that's kind of a raw nickname for you. And he said, well, I was a token hire. They needed a black guy in this position, and I got hired. And I was like, well, that sucks. Did you earn it, or did they give it to you? And he said, well, fortunately, I earned it, but there's been a lot of us promoted that didn't. So they're not really feeling well about themselves. Right. Everybody around them doesn't respect them because they don't have the qualifications for it. But what about that other dude that didn't get the job? It doesn't matter what race he is, but what about that guy that didn't get the job that was qualified for it? Now they're not making extra income, so it affects their family. They've missed out on a position that they earned. And now it affects their performance at work. So that's a ripple effect to that decision. The shooting of Charlie Kirk, this is like a tsunami. Mm-hmm. It's not a ripple effect. This is huge. Yeah. And it's going to go across this country and beyond.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But again, what did you just say? The mental and emotional effect that all of these things have on people is constantly going unaddressed.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. You physically put that person in that job. That's great. But they go home every day thinking, oh, God, I didn't screw that up. Like the air traffic control. Oh, God, thank God nobody crashed today because I was nervous going to work. I'm nervous coming home. This is, and sometimes that's not the way it is. But.
No, none of this is always.
Correct. But this country was let me rephrase. Our goals in this country should be to do everything we possibly can together. Again, no matter what your way of thinking is, black, white, we have to turn it into gray.
Yeah, we got to quit talking about color.
Right. And we have to turn it into red, blue. We have to turn it into purple. We have to stop being so extreme, because you can talk the talk all day long, and you can even walk the walk, but you're still walking over here on a path by yourself.
Right.
And all it does is make you more angry. And everybody just keeps feeding off that anger, and you've got this little small group that are causing unbelievably horrific waves that affect those of us, again, who are just kind of standing here going, we all just kind of want everybody to be happy and healthy and get along. And I don't really care. Again, I have said 1,000,000 times on this show, if you're a jerk, you're a jerk.
Right.
I don't care what color you are. No. I don't care how old you are.
Religion, education, got nothing to do with that.
If I think you're a jerk, I think you're a jerk.
Right.
I do not know I have thought about this. I don't know one person of any other ethnic background, any other color, race, gender, creed, whatever, that is a complete jerk that I have ever thought to myself, oh, it's because they are this.
Right. You're a jerk because you're a jerk.
You're just a jerk.
Right.
Like, I don't care what color you are. I don't care. Children should never care about the color of their fellow students,
No.
the height of their fellow students, the weight of their fellow students. None of that.
Statistics show that they don't even recognize it.
No, they don't.
Young kids, not until they're educated on it.
Well, so let's switch to education for a second. This boy that shot Charlie Kirk grew up. His dad is a 27-year veteran of their local sheriff's department.
Yeah, this doesn't jive.
This kid went to college for 1 year.
And
1 year, and that's what it took.
I'm having issues with him being poisoned that bad in 1 year to force him to do that. I think there was probably underlying issues prior to that. I know the family said he was never political until recently. Mm-hmm. And
Something
Charlie Kirk's
snapped.
name came up. Yeah, something definitely snapped. And it isn't. I've dealt with it in my career, and it happens. It just floors me. I mean, I'm having a hard time grasping a lot of this stuff because it's all limited knowledge or limited information. But
well, I'm going to tell you too that, and this is a way out of the ballpark thing. I still think that they're going to find other people that were involved.
Oh, I do too. I don't think he acted alone. I do not think he acted alone.
You can't tell me with that particular firearm that he was that good at it.
No more than that dude did that shot President Trump.
Right.
He didn't act alone.
Right.
And that brings up a lot of other stuff. For how many years did we drive around looking at the signs that said hate has no place here? Right. Or hate does not live in this house or something like that? But then, and I know there's a lot of people that are Democratic or on the left, liberal, that are going to disagree with me. But when Congress asked for 1 minute of silence for Charlie Kirk's family, and the Democratic side of the House doesn't stand up and intentionally makes noise during that minute, there is a huge problem, and that's where the hate is starting. They have preached for years how Donald Trump was a hater. Show me the hate. He called people out. He's got a very raw vocabulary, no doubt about it. And he said stuff that I go, ooh, man, that was kind of over the top. But where's the hate? He doesn't.
He doesn't
I don't
hate anybody.
See the hate.
He talks about behavior.
Right. And he talks about accomplishments and about achieving goals. And
again,
yeah, he's brutal doing it, but
absolutely.
That's what we want. That's what we need.
And again,
but not hate.
We have said before, I wouldn't invite the guy over for Thanksgiving dinner because but I want what he wants.
Yeah.
I don't want this division. I don't want this. He has, and people, you have to understand that what you see and hear in the media is exactly what they think they want you to know that day.
What they want you to know.
And what they think will infuriate you or motivate you or whatever. They're not giving you facts. Because Donald Trump has probably done more throughout his career, throughout his adult life for the black community than anybody you're going to find.
And the black community recognizes
absolutely
that. The ones that are
do.
brainwashed.
Right.
But that goes across the country.
Right.
If Joe Biden was on the campaign trail and he got shot, I would be as angry as I was when Donald Trump got shot.
Absolutely. Like, and stop.
I don't know, if Kamala Harris was out there preaching the gospel or whatever she believed in and she was killed like Charlie was, I'd be just as mad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is...
You can't do this.
No, kill the lines. This is just bad, wrong behavior.
Yeah.
And it's hatred. And if you support it, you're a hater, period.
Well, but like I said, you go back to, we do not have an outlet that is sufficient for people to go and get the mental and emotional care, therapy, whatever they need.
No, actually, we support that. We support their mental health issues.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got problems with your kid in school. Are your teachers telling you about the problems? I mean, in California, it's illegal for a teacher to call a parent and say we're having a problem with your child.
Right.
And that's spreading across the country. How many times do you hear about kids having problems in school and teachers aren't telling the parents about it?
Right.
Or there's an absolute overreaction and they want to throw the kid out of school for doing something relatively minor.
Right.
We're supporting mediocrity. We're supporting these unnatural beliefs and lack of patriotism and it starts in the home and it goes to the school.
Right.
And then it spills out onto the streets.
Right.
And I agree with you. It is way out of control.
We aren't doing enough that things that are uniting people. Like, every day when we were in school, we started the day saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
Right. And you may not think that that's a big deal, but it is. They don't do that in every school.
I think it's huge
anymore. And it's like, oh, well, you're just reciting whatever you want to call it. But the fact is that when you start the day with something that unites you and that really should be motivating you to make your world a better place, make your home a better place, make your, because we are all in this together. When you stop doing that, that's where some disconnect starts right at the beginning. And then when you've got fractured homes, and just people, this wave of everything should be given to me, and I shouldn't have to do this or I shouldn't have to do that, and then you send a kid to school who you don't even think is paying attention to all of this stuff, and they, they don't even know that they're spreading this to other kids, and then it's just this whole vicious circle that is just not being addressed, and it goes back to mental and emotional care. We are not taking care of the people who are suffering before they get to the point of mass destruction like they have. That's the bottom line. Once they do it, hey, you know what? Daryl Brooks, Waukesha Parade guy, now he's a murderer.
Right.
Okay? When it first started for him, he was a sick individual.
Yeah, and we don't know when it started.
Right.
But we definitely know a few weeks before that he ran his wife over.
Right. But he was in and out of jail multiple times. This guy that stabbed this Ukrainian refugee that came here to try and live a better life legally, was working, contributing to society, was minding her own business on the way home on the train. His family begged the system to keep him incarcerated.
Right.
Or hospitalized. Begged the system. His own brother says, we tried to tell you. So now he's going to get what he deserves.
The vet in New York that shot up the bowling alley and the bar. Same thing. Family was screaming for help.
Yeah.
And I can't stop thinking, again, it starts at home. Make your bed. Get up in the morning, start your day off positive, make your bed.
Yeah.
Brush your teeth, eat your breakfast, go to school, say the Pledge of Allegiance.
But there's some people that can't. And those are the people, like, it's not their fault. Sometimes starts out, honestly, it starts out not their fault. Because they don't have the mental capacity or strength. Most of the time, it's the strength to make themselves right.
Yeah, but they don't have anybody supporting them either.
Exactly.
And they don't, a lot of times, and I know this isn't all the time, and that's not the way I'm saying it, but more often than not, a lot of people that are suffering from mental health, if they would have had someone guiding them as a child, probably wouldn't be a mental health issue. They probably would have learned how to control it. And we learned that in the 90s, late 80s and 90s with Ritalin. We didn't need to drug those kids.
No,
we needed to be parents to those kids.
Right.
I had a son that was out of control. Not like crazy out of control, but he didn't know how to calm down. He was always moving, always on fire. And we needed to direct that energy.
Right.
We did. We
parented
taught him.
your child?
Yeah, we taught him. School wanted him on Ritalin. His dad was a jerk and said, absolutely no way in hell are you drugging my kid.
Mm-hmm.
And Amy and I worked with him daily. We talked to him daily.
Mm-hmm.
And he learned how to control that and is doing very well in life.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't need to be pilled up. But too often we just throw pills down their throats and let it go. Now we have adults that are out of control. We're not doing anything different now other than we're not throwing Ritalin down their throat because, we finally learned that.
Right.
But raise your child. Teach your child.
Right.
Start there. And
But
if it's not working, then maybe you need some help.
Right. But then if they try that and they can't find the help, that's the problem.
Exactly.
There's a lot of parents that are standing here going, again, this mom of this guy that stabbed this girl, the family of this veteran. We tried and we can't help him like we need help. And it's not there. But we're giving jillions of dollars to all this other crap and all these other countries and all these other things. And we should be improving the foster care system.
Yeah.
And we should be improving the ability for, parents to take their children and have them talk to somebody who can help them navigate when they can't. And the parents themselves, give them the confidence to say no to their child, because that's another problem.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And parents and people in general have gut instincts that they know that they should follow. And generally, when you second guess that instinct, when you see something and you don't say something, usually you turn around however long later, whether it's 5 minutes, 5 years, 5 days, 5 decades, you look back on it and say, I should have said something. When you have an instinct about your child, like this is just off, like all of a sudden my child has become withdrawn and this and that, go bust down the closet door. You go search that room.
Yeah.
You go look at all
Be
that
a
stuff.
parent.
You're the parent. You're allowed to do whatever you want
They're
at your
supposed
house.
to be mad at you because they're going through their stuff.
Exactly. You're not their friend.
No.
Or if you don't think you can handle it, try to find somebody who can. But again, you go back or can help you. Not that can handle it for you, but that can help you. We go back to this country has epically failed, where organizations like the Treehouse, Agape House, all of these people who are doing everything they possibly can to intervene in troubled kids or kids that need help, intervene early in their lives. Mm-hmm. Those are the huge success stories.
Right.
And we should find a way, and we should have a long time ago, found a way to pool our resources into programs nationally like that.
Yeah.
And we have failed to do so.
And keep politics out of it.
Right. Because this doesn't have anything to do with politics.
No, but if you let it in the door, it's going to ruin it.
Right. This is a gray area.
We know
that. This is a gray area. This is a purple area. But we have just, and here's the other thing. This justice system better get its you-know-what together. Because when you favor criminals over victims and you let someone out 14 times, and they should have stayed in jail 10 of those 14 times for their crimes, now that young lady is dead.
Mm-hmm. And everybody on that train, shame on you. Shame on you to allow her to die. Nobody tried to stop him.
They got off. Nobody tried to help her afterwards.
I bet there's videotape of it.
Oh, there absolutely
Other than the
is.
security camera. Yeah, no, you want to film it, but you don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
I have so much had it with that. You're watching a crime being committed. You're watching somebody, getting killed or being beaten up or being robbed or raped or whatever. And you're not doing anything other than videoing it?
You're an accomplice.
Absolutely. You should be charged with them. Party to a crime.
Right. You're an accomplice.
You allowed it to continue.
Right.
Stand up. Be a human. Get involved.
Yeah.
Protect that person. Do what you can to help.
Yeah.
And one-on-one, okay, you may have a problem, but when you got 10 guys there or 10 people there watching, odds are in your favor.
Or here's a thought.
Man up and do something.
Minimize the camera and call 911 if you can't handle it.
One person can make a call, yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Not one person called 911 for that young lady.
It's pathetic.
Not one person.
That is absolutely pathetic.
Like, where have we gone? Right? And where are we going? Okay? Again, Charlie Kirk was trying to teach kids how to think for themselves, how to open their eyes, and how to open their ears. He literally, physically was trying subliminally to teach you how to stop and listen. He would take his microphone and set it down on the table in front of him when you started to speak.
Yeah.
Because he was listening.
Yep.
Right?
Out of respect.
He would tell the crowd, stop interrupting, let them finish, even if you don't agree.
Right. He wanted open conversations. He
Right.
didn't want to beat people up, verbally beat people up. He wanted an open conversation.
Right.
I think he would welcome anybody that could prove him wrong.
100%.
Unfortunately, he was always right.
Well, he was right most of the time.
I should say
But I
most
will
of the time.
say that the times he was also willing to learn.
Oh, yeah.
And you could see that.
Absolutely.
Again, you go back to some of these videos, these prove me wrong videos and things like that. You go back and you look at, people would say, oh, and people would say something and he would go, oh, okay, so that matches or that works its way into this.
Or I got to look into that.
And right, like, oh, okay, I see why you said, or I understand why you think that way.
Yeah.
I understand where you got that, but understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
And they would. And so he was successful in doing what he was doing because the people that he wanted to talk to the most and the people that he wanted to learn from the most and the people that he wanted to use to teach others how to communicate the most were the ones that disagreed with him or thought they disagreed with him until they walked away.
There was a lot of those.
There were a lot of those that still held their values, still held on to what they thought, but understood that moving forward, they needed to have an open mind. And in that, they also learned that how to communicate with others. If they still felt the same way that they did before they talked to Charlie, after they talked to Charlie, the one thing that they learned was how to go and talk to someone else about it.
Right.
And not shove it in their face and not force them to do it and not berate them because they didn't feel that way about the same things as you did. And he was just trying to get them to think for themselves. And you know what? There are a hell of a lot of adults out there that should be watching a lot of these videos.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to think for yourselves either.
Right.
Okay? I'm just going to... Hold on. Sorry.
Consente.
I'm going to... I got 2 words for you on that. COVID vaccine. Those of us who sat back and said, ugh, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not comfortable with putting chemicals in my body that haven't been thoroughly tested. I'm not comfortable with how quickly this rolled out. I'm not comfortable with the lack of information on what might happen to me in the future if I put this in my body. Those of us who looked and thought with our own eyes and used our own common sense have a heck of a different outcome than some of the people that said, oh, no, I have to have it.
I was most uncomfortable with it. Didn't make sense. If I'm not sick, why do I have to wear a mask?
Right.
If you're sick, you should probably stay home or wear a mask.
Right. So those of us who were like, this isn't, my instinct is.
Exactly.
And we didn't second guess it, have way different outcomes, unfortunately, than those who were like, oh my gosh, they're telling us we got to do this and so maybe we should do it. Okay, that's all he was trying to teach you to do.
Right.
He was trying to give you confidence that you're smart enough to think for yourself.
Right. Figure it out.
You know?
What's your gut telling you?
Right.
What's your experience telling you?
Right.
Yeah, sheeple. We've raised a bunch of sheeple. That
we have allowed, we've allowed, and we haven't held the media accountable.
No.
We haven't held people in authority accountable who are supposed to be, quote, representatives, and yet they're being called leaders, which they are not.
No, they're not. And to go back to what you said earlier about getting the justice system on track, quit electing liberal judges. Quit electing these people that don't enforce
The law?
The law on these criminals. You know, the judges that try to hide the illegal immigrants, or the judge that lets somebody get out for attempted homicide and domestic violence on a $50 cash bond.
Right.
This is a huge part of the problem.
Right. That's exactly what happened at the Waukesha. That guy...
That's why I said it.
Never should have had bail.
No. He tried to kill his wife. Why is he on the street?
Right.
You know, it's out of control.
Jails.
And those of you who have never been a victim of a crime, you're very fortunate.
Yes.
Because the Kirk family is going to be victims for the rest of their lives. There is no fixing that. If you are a victim of a crime, you are going to remain a victim because there's no justification for it. The shooter has been caught. Even if they put him to death with the death penalty, there still is no justification to that family.
Right.
We got to stop them from doing it.
Right.
And it starts with local judges, municipal judges. They don't need to be, they're not politicians. They shouldn't be politicians. Their political views should not be on that bench. They should be reading the law, deciphering the law, and making a decision according to the law. Mm-hmm. Innocent or guilty, and what's the appropriate sentencing.
Right.
Period.
And we need to not do things that, you know, are labeled mitigating factors or you know, things that, like, for instance, my daughter brought up, you know, after 9/11, we all started taking our shoes off and going through these x-ray machines and not carrying this, not carrying that. That is a false sense of security. Yeah. It doesn't matter if everybody has their shoes on or not. It has nothing to do with it. No. And quite frankly, these days, the threat isn't going to come from inside of the plane. It's going to come from outside of the plane. Right. Okay?
But who got jerked out of line to get, you know, searched? Elderly men and women, white people.
Children.
We didn't go after the people that looked like terrorists. Oh, we don't want to offend anybody.
Right. So we're giving a false sense of security. That doesn't mitigate anything. It you know, and these cries for gun control that's not going to mitigate anything. Mm-mm. Because if you want to control that, now you got to control SUVs, you got to control crock pot or pressure cookers from the Boston Marathon, knives because of the thing.
Golf clubs, that almost got Tiger Woods killed.
Golf clubs. I mean, it just that's not, because if this guy wouldn't have had a gun, he would have built a bomb and put it in a backpack and set it down next to the tent and killed more people than just Charlie.
Go ahead. What? I was going to say, the sad thing is it's very easy to kill.
Right.
Some people just choose a firearm. It's a tool.
Right. The method of murder has nothing to do with this.
It doesn't. It's the mental process.
Health and the lack of everyone's ability to access good care. Mm-hmm. And again, this isn't just mental, it's emotional as well. People don't know how to handle their emotions. And you've got this whole generation that went through this COVID stuff, and they have, 2 or 3 years lacking of social ability in a lot of cases, and they don't know how. And
because nobody taught them.
Exactly.
Nobody in their home taught them. This really
but maybe they couldn't. Think about that. Think about how many kids we had at home all day and the moms had to work.
Well, yes. Okay? Yes, you're right.
And all of that.
Absolutely,
so
you're right.
It's not their fault. Like, it all goes back to one problem: the mental health situation in this country. People are too angry. People are too sad. People are too vindictive. People are too, we need to go back to people are too happy. People are too, I don't know I don't know how to say it. But
everything is extreme. Yeah. You and I don't agree on everything. We agree a lot, but not on everything. But never have we gotten, that I've ever experienced, been rude with each other.
No.
I always listen to your points.
It might make really good radio if we fought once in a while, but we don't.
And I never would. It shouldn't go that far. When your conversation starts turning into screaming, you're done. You're not having a conversation anymore.
Yeah.
Just walk away.
Well, all he was trying to do was engage people and teach them how to converse and debate respectfully and civilly, whether they had a difference of opinion, whether they had different experiences, whether their motivation was completely different. And he was trying to get them to find common ground. And that is exactly and realistically what we need to do to protect children in schools from mass shootings, from people being assassinated like this, from mentally challenged and mentally suffering people from hurting others because they're not getting the help they need. Open minds, open hearts, and spend the money and get this mental problem fixed in this country. Give people an avenue with which to solve this problem in their head.
Yeah.
And we don't do it.
100% agree with you. And I tried doing a little research this past week about these active shooters. You know, what's their political affiliation? And most of the information I got was it's really hard to make a decision on that because of lack of information.
What were you looking at?
I'm telling you the information I found.
That's what you found.
Right. Initially, a lot of it was right-wing extremists, and it has trended over to left-wing extremists. Again, this is the information I found. But one common factor in every one of them is the signs were there, and they were ignored.
Right.
You know, so is it a political thing? I think we can argue that either way. But the fact that there is, and this is going back to what you're saying, a mental health issue with every one of these people that was ignored or there was no help available for them, either through law enforcement or through the mental health system.
Right.
That is the common denominator.
Right.
And that, again, I agree. That's where one of the areas that needs to be fixed immediately.
Right. Can I just say very quickly, too? I will tell you that at this radio station for quite some time now, we have sort of taken a stand. Not sort of. We have taken a stand. And when we see or hear of musicians that go, to another country and berate the United States, we no longer play their music.
Right.
I don't know if people have noticed some of the music that's missing on this radio station. Bruce Springsteen, people like that.
Yeah.
We won't play it, okay? Because you're not going to go to another country and berate the United States of America and expect to be promoted on this radio station. Email me if you would like, if you have a problem with it.
I won't listen to him anymore.
It's not going to change. There's more than one. It's not just him.
No, I understand it. I would listen to Journey before I listen to him again.
Oh, God,
and you know how
Journey.
I feel about Journey.
So we will also... we just don't tolerate that kind of music, right? Or those people and that kind of rhetoric. Because we don't have to. We're not owned by some big company. We don't have to go through all this red tape. We're not required to do anything. We can play whoever we want. Right?
But we're patriotic here.
Exactly. The other thing is, though, is that I would also agree that if you have an employee and they are going on to social media or whatever, and they are completely, celebrating the death of anyone, I would agree that they should be fired. I would never tolerate that. As a matter of fact, during the Kenosha riots, Mike Mason actually went on social media and called the people who were burning Kenosha down animals. I
remember that.
Yep. I got emails from people saying I should fire him for that.
We're speaking the
truth. I would
truth.
email them back and say, oh, you know what? I gave him a raise because he's right. You are burning down things that are not yours. You are destroying people's lives, homes, businesses. And you have no rights to do that. You are an animal. And if you support that, you are an animal. So anyway, that's where we stand on it. We have stood that way for quite some time, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of that coin, and we only have like 30 seconds left. There was a administrator at a local school whose social media account was somehow, I don't really want to say hacked because I don't think that's that's not exactly what happened, but like somebody created a profile and lifted pictures and it got associated with the wrong person and all of that. And it was a school in Elkhorn, and the administrator is accused of celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. I personally know this family.
Mm-hmm.
It 100%, they would never say anything like that. For one, that's not how these people are. And number two, they're also not stupid enough to do it on social media. even if that's what they thought.
Right.
Which I know it's not. But and it has actually gone national that this person should be fired. This person this was not that she did not do this. Yeah. She absolutely 100% did not say this. And again, wouldn't, even if she thought it, wouldn't be stupid enough to put it on social media.
Well,
you have to be very, very careful. Mm-hmm. Now, when you see somebody at Home Depot, or I'm sorry, not Home Depot, at Office Max, I think it was, or what is it? Office Max, I guess maybe it was. They refused to print a remembrance poster of Charlie Kirk for a vigil. And they said it was propaganda.
Oh, wow.
It was his picture, and then 1993 to 2025, with just his dates. They said, we're sorry, we're not printing that as propaganda. They were fired, and justly so.
Yeah, I would say,
okay? So just make sure that what you're looking at before you berate someone or you call for somebody to be fired or whatever, that it's the right person, because this person that I'm speaking of from Elkhorn has been threatened. The school's been threatened, and it's not even true. It's not even remotely true. And so we'd also have to be careful about those who are truly celebrating and those who are truly having that poison in their minds. Make it very obvious that they are. Very obvious that's how they feel. This person did not do that. And it was a complete screw up, and it has resulted in locally a lot of fear and anger and confusion.
Yeah, and that's not right.
And that's not right either. And so somebody asked one time on Facebook or whatever, what is the one thing this world could do without that you would get rid of?
Facebook.
All social media.
Yep. It's a shame because Facebook has been very beneficial for me. I've recontacted guys I serve with that I haven't seen in 40 years. But also, it has been horrible.
It's nasty.
More than
it's a nasty place.
Anything else that's been horrible.
It's a nasty place.
Yep.
So, hold on to your loved ones. Be nice to people. Remember that our colors should be gray and purple, because the place to reside is in the middle, with an open heart and an open mind and a willingness to listen and a willingness to respectfully and civilly state your case while understanding that other people have a right to do the same. Again, that's all Charlie Kirk was trying to do. He was not trying to tell you what to think. He was just trying to remind you that it's okay for you to think for yourself.
Right. And the only three colors that should be separated is red, white, and blue.
Exactly.
Because they have different meanings.
Exactly. That's Life Matters for today. We'll see you next week right here on Lake 96.1.